Evening, everybody. It's about 6:15 on Wednesday the 3rd. This is your closing comment, and it is video number 1005. And I remind you to hit that subscribe button. Doesn't cost a thing, and the little notification bell so that you'll be alerted anytime we put out any information. Okay, so today there was a fair amount of economic news, but I'm only going to hit the highlights here. ADP job increase 571. That's versus 568 last month. But last month's number got revised down to 523. So I don't really like to give a lot of credence to these numbers because, frankly, when a number can change 8 or 10% in revisions, doesn't mean very much. Mortgage apps were down 3.3% after being up 0.3% the week before. But the big number was the crude inventories, which increased 3,290,000 barrels on top of last week's 4,270,000 barrels, which is, those are pretty big numbers, and I'll get to it in a minute. It is the chart on the screen, but the fact is oil was down about a little over $3, and that was about almost 4%. Okay, we had a bunch of earnings, and some of them were a surprise. And of course, I'm really kind of surprised that nobody is talking about the fact that we have a Dow theory breakout after months and months and months of the transportations lagging. I understand that, it was all one stock yesterday, symbol CAR, Avis. But the fact is, it's a small index. It's not like we're talking about the Russell 2000. And the transports is a small index of 20 companies. But hey, the Dow is only 30 companies. So, in any event, the Dow was up 105 or 0.29%. The NASDAQ up 161.98, a little over 1%. S&P up 0.65% at 29.92, higher. And the big winner again was the Russell 2000, up 42.43 or 1.8%. And those transports, which were up just short of 1,100 points yesterday after actually being up 2,100 points, closed down 178.40 or 1.05. So earnings and continuation trades. ZIVO, which yesterday on the earnings and the fact that their house flipping business was a huge mistake and they've discontinued it, closed yesterday down 17.57 or 18%, and today closed 65.86, down another 19.62 or 23%. I've heard a couple of people who I actually respect, Karen Feinerman in particular on CNBC, talking about the valuation. And when stocks move like this, very often people initiate a 3-day rule. They wait 3 days after the initial downdraft, and she went in and bought stock today because she feels the valuation warrants it. I'm not sure, not the kind of company that I've followed, so I'm not really sure what the rest of the group looks like, but down from well over 100 to almost 200 to 65, in a year, I would have to think merits a look. Activision Blizzard with a miss today, and on revenues, and two games that were expected to come out before Christmas being delayed until next year sent that one down almost $11 or 14% to 66.75, down 10.92. Going the other way, we had CVS, which some people thought was a slight miss, and in pre-market trading today it was down about 1% or 1.5%, managed to turn back up and close 96.34, up 5.19 or 5.7%. Roku was a miss. The stock had closed 313.66, up 25 cents. And then on the headline number ran up to 329 and then collapsed almost $50 to 280. Last on it is 287 even, down 26.41 or 8.4%. Capri, which is the old Michael Kors and is now kind of a conglomerate of these fashion names, beat, and the stock had closed 55.53, hit a high today 64.80, and the last is 64.25, up 8.72 or 15.7%. And the big mover yesterday from 171 to 545. I know that sounds almost absurd. Avis was up 108% yesterday. Today had a range of 311 to 288, closed 298.09, down 59.08 or 16.5%. And we had an IPO today. Allbirds, symbol BIRD, was priced at 15. This is a company that sells sneakers, essentially running shoes, except that they are big into sustainability, using materials that are recycled. The stock came at 15, opened at 21.21, had a high of 32.44, and the last trade on that one is 28.28, up 13.28 or 89%. Okay, as I said, the chart on the screen is crude, and it closed, up in this area. Clearly 5-day moving average rolling over, supported several times, once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times on the 20-day moving average, collapsed right through it. Not only that, closed below it. Tonight it is down another 54 cents or about 0.7%. And if it can break this low from during the day today, 79.69 was that low. I have a feeling we can come back into this 77.5, 78.5 area. We are long the calls in the SCO, which is the double inverse to the oil. So if oil goes down 1%, this one goes up 2%. And today, that's exactly pretty much what happened. It was down 3%. The oil was down about 3%. This was up 6.9%. So a nice trade for us. Terrible day again in the precious metals. The gold was actually 1763, down 25.5. It's up about 10. They've just reopened for the electronic session at night. The silver is up 40 after being down hard all day. And Bitcoin was lower by a little, down 950, right now up 265, and Ethereum is down 37. It was up over 100 today while Bitcoin was down. And the bonds, which were down about a quarter of a point, are down another 3/4 of a point. Just to give you an idea, since everybody's talking about Powell and tapering and interest rate rises, we were up this morning and finished about mid-range. But this has been a very tough area. This green line in here is the 200-day moving average. The orange line is the 50-day, and we just have not been able to get through that, even though this is a nice little double bottom. And I've shown you this chart before on the weekly. On the weekly, we have a very strong trend line here. That goes all the way back to 2018, and we seem to be holding that. Now we'll have to see. Remember, this is as things go up, rates go down. So we seem to be making lower lows on a regular basis. All right, everyone, I'll be back first thing in the morning. Be careful out there. By the way, I had lunch today with another company. GTBP is the symbol for it. GT Biopharma. It's kind of interesting, and you can expect more information from me, and I believe I'll have them on the radio show in the next week or two. Have a good evening. I'll be back in the morning.